folks. Welcome to Eugene, Oregon, day 3 of the U.S. Outdoor Track and Field Championships. For Chavez, joined by Jenkins. We've got Mac Fleet behind the camera. Will be joining us shortly. We left the stadium early because we knew we had to immediately talk about these 1500s. Sorry, I just burped. That was straight up Lollipop. I've got a nice, refreshing can of Ridge Rush in my hands. Today's a toasty one out there at the track.
It's a toasty one. Perfect weather, and it creates some absolutely electric races.
Yeah. Well, so if you're watching at home, want to enjoy the rest of this track talk, I know that there is a race taking place right now at the track. I'm trying my best to log into my USATF.tv subscription that I pay $13 a month for. Struggling with that right now. Keeping my eyes on the live results page. But if you're watching with us right now, go into your fridge, grab a can of Lollipop, and if you don't have any, go to drinklollipop.com and use promo code CITIUS25 for 25% off, and it's the best way to enjoy watching track and field. Track is better with an Lollipop. All right, let's get into these 1,500-meter finals. Absolutely crazy. We're going to have Aisha join us after the women's steeplechase final concludes. She's very emotionally invested in this race, but let's go into the 1,500s. We have to start with how crazy the men's 15 was. It is our favorite event. There's no secret about that on this show and at CITIUS, but we all were pretty adamant. Like, it felt like the 3 Olympians from last year, Cole Hawker, Yared Nuguse, Hobbs Kessler, just a level above in fitness and talent, and we thought that potentially would hold strong this year. There was talk about, the collegians, especially Ethan Strand, potentially being a guy to sneak onto the team. And we had all these question marks about Jonah Koech and his decision to run the 1500. I mean, there's a clip that did not age well of you and me just straight up saying, this was a bad decision. And someone's going to unearth that clip.
Look, I said I'd be happy to eat my words, and here I am eating my words. Jonah Koech. I mean, that race. That's why you run the races.
Yeah, these races are not run on paper. Jonah Koech, who had been struggling with a hamstring injury, there were so many things. We were like, he would have been better suited for the 8.
Hamstring seems fine.
No, actually, it was not. We just got a text from our guys in the mix zone.
Well, that race couldn't have made it feel better.
Who said that, Jonah Koech felt the hamstring in the middle of this race, but then just it's almost like, you got to go. You got to just grit through the pain. It was a 3-minute and 30-second race. Big personal best for Jonah Koech. And on top of that, breaks, I believe, the U.S. championship record.
It was, yeah.
And it just goes to show this event is getting faster year over year. But how it played out, let's start with that.
Yeah.
Yared Nuguse weaves his way to the front, which is what we expected. I think some of us, myself included, thought that string it out. If you are the fittest of the bunch, do what he did at the pre-classic. I felt he could try and do against the Americans. It won't work on the global stage, but it would work against an American field where some of these guys have never broken 330 in their lives. So Yared's up in the front, and they're dropping, what was it, 57s?
57s.
And everyone is kind of straight up lined up. You predicted that. You said
No, I thought he was going to go out slower. I thought that they were going to let someone. I thought the big 3 were going to let Luke Hauser and somebody else lead the first couple laps and then have a huge squeeze at the end. But what I also said was if anyone goes out and runs 57s, then the collegiates have a shot. Just because running 330 even splits and running 331 with a huge squeeze are completely different races.
Yeah.
And I thought that the big 3, and when we're talking about the big 3, we obviously mean Cole Hawker, Yared Nuguse, Hobbs Kessler, would have had a bigger separation between themselves and some of the other athletes in the race. But that's not what happened. Yared went straight to the front and was basically just a pace setter for the rest of the field.
He really was. And he was a sitting duck for most of it. And then behind him, there was just a lot of action happening. Hobbs Kessler looked like he just reverted back to the strategy from 2024 that made him successful and got him through the trials and onto the team, which is just glue yourself to Yared and you'll be fine. But then that also doesn't start to work when both Yared starts tiring and he also maybe was a bit tired as well. So both those guys start to fall back, and then just chaos absolutely unloads here because it looked like Ethan Strand was pressing. He did in that third lap just like a lot of work. Jonah Koech was 7th at the bell lap, and then it was what final lap was 52.91 to close it out and move from 7th to 1st. Most of it in lane 2, passes and swallows up Yard Nagoose and Hobbs-Kessler. Ethan Strand holds on, 3:30, personal best, 2nd place, and then it's literally you're watching the 3 Olympians who finished Olympic champion, bronze medalist, 5th place finisher, fighting for one spot, and Cole Hawker ends up getting it, runs a season's best, 3:30. These are not the results that we drew up.
I mean, it's crazy that who would have seen like Yared, bronze medalist, not on the team.
The way that we were talking about him in the weeks leading up to this was like, oh, well, Yard's making the team.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, and the way that he's looked all season, everybody would have assumed he's making the team. I am very surprised at his tactics for this race, where it just seems to be like, hey, look, just go out there and run 3:30, and no one can do that. Like you said, a squeeze does make a huge difference. You saw it with like Jakob in Paris, right? It's like, oh, just try and go out and run as hard as you can, and nobody will be there. And it's like, no, these guys are fit enough that they're going to be there. I thought that especially since Yard's 800 has improved so dramatically, his wheels seem to have gotten better, that he should have trusted that speed a bit more and not necessarily just done the entirety of the work. These guys go out, and I'm looking at Hobbs-Kessler sitting in 2nd, and the way that how good Hobbs looks running 56s, and you're like, this is just the level these guys are at. They can run this. And Ethan Strand with 100 to go, you're like, I mean, he still is kicking, looking fantastic. It takes a huge finish by Jonah Koech to barely get him at the line, and Cole Hawker is fighting for his life back there just to make it onto the team. Tactically, Cole's gonna rewatch that race and think like, I made some mistakes, and if I could run that back, luckily he's on the team. Right? He's on the team. Right. He lives to fight another day and you know, go hunt for some medals in Tokyo. But it took, I think it was in like with 150 to go, he's boxed. The dude loves the rail, as we all know. He's sitting right on the rail, and I think he's in like 5th.
At one point, almost trips up. At one point.
He was getting tripped up, and is using energy to just not to stay on his feet and fight to make that team. But man, to see Yared so far back, like Hobbs not on the team,
it's weird. It feels weird. That's the only.
It's
thing.
shocking. It was absolutely shocking. We love all the guys that are in that race, but gosh, it's like how deep is U.S. middle distance running, especially in the 15, when we're looking at someone that was a bronze medalist and placed 5th at the Olympics just 12 months ago. They're not on our team.
It is, and it is fun though.
Right? No, it's a blast. It's a blast,
right? Because no one really has that, and you can say, oh, like we talked a lot about, oh, Ethan Strand really can sneak in there and maybe snag that 3rd spot, right? But here he is, basically battling it to the line for the victory in the fastest race in a U.S. championship history. Absolutely super thrilling. If you're Yared, I mean, you go, man, like, why did I do that?
And you got to kind of go back to the prelim a little bit too, right?
Yeah,
like that 332 all of a sudden doesn't look so easy.
Yeah. No, I mean, because he ran 332 and it did look easy, but now like it does take it out of you. Like we can talk, it's like, oh, he's got days, he's got 48 hours to recover, but it's like 332 isn't nothing.
And
right?
and then now looking back, you're like, oh, you didn't have to do that at all. Like not even close to that. You didn't have to do that.
He should have ran a similar race. He would have been better suited to run a similar race to his prelim than he did his final today. It's like, okay, he sit. You can run, if you can run 332 with whatever they ran for that first lap, do something more like that. Squeeze it a bit. Don't let these guys just settle in to, these guys can run 57s, right?
Right.
They can kick off whatever pace. This is everybody's going to bring their A game to the U.S. final with team spots on the line. And it's so hard to kick from the front, running, trying to break everybody. Doesn't make any sense.
And when you do something like that, like what Yard does, you immediately show your cards for the rest of the athletes. You go, okay, well, Yard's going to pull at this pace. There's no way that he's, as soon as he goes out in 56 point, it's like, okay, this is what the race is. There's no guessing for the rest of the field. And when you leave it to a squeeze, there's really severe anxiety that plays out amongst the rest of the field when no one is just running kind of all out at everyone's PB pace. When you have a squeeze, there's a lot more moving around. There's a lot more anxiety, and generally, I would say that the lesser experienced athletes are more prone to messing up, and not necessarily being there with 250 to go, 150 to go, like some of the more experienced athletes. And I said it a couple weeks ago. I was like, if you go out and run 57.0 or faster for the first lap, like that puts all the collegiates at play because they don't have to think at all. And they go, oh, okay, I just have to run as hard as I can in a PB setting, time trial setting, and just let it rip.
Yeah, like when you can turn your brain off for a bit, it's like, okay, it's fast, Yard's pulling, let's settle in, let me turn off my mind for a bit until the bell lap. It is. You see it on paper and like, oh, they're running a lot faster. It's a lot harder. But it's like, no, exactly what you just said. If it is slow for that first, whatever, 600 meters, 800 meters, you're using a lot of energy, just kind of like you get more anxious, right? Like you start making moves that do cost you, right? You go to the front, you try and, everybody starts swarming. Let me step out. Let me try and get out.
You get cycle through. You got to cycle through.
You go to the front. You get spit out to the back. You fight to get back to the front. Get off the rail. Stay like in clean racing territory. So it doesn't necessarily, you see it's a slow time and you think, oh, it's easy for these guys, but it's totally different when you're kind of, your brain is firing and you're just making these small little micro moves that you don't do when it's very fast and you're just on the rail, on the train.
And I don't necessarily want to cap this off, but we're talking about like how Yard maybe have messed up today. You have to commit to a plan. Like at the end of the day, you have to commit to a plan and you have to execute that plan. And that's what he did today. And on the other side of that is Jonah Koech, who decided, I'm not going to lead. What I am going to do is I'm going to let the big players do their thing, and I'm going to take advantage of whatever that situation is at the end of the race and rely on his kick, which we saw earlier in the year when he won the Diamond League. It was earlier.
Cashier, so it's is that Rabat?
Yeah, it was Rabat where he had
331.
Just a mean last 100. Just he went from, it was similar like today, where he wasn't leading with 200 meters to go, but he ended up catching everybody and winning as at that point the biggest race of his life. Until today,
you left an 800-meter specialist still in contention in this race, and he just closed so hard. That 52 at the end was impressive when you consider the fact that he did a lot of that in lane 2, weaving through so much traffic, and the injury question marks, all that stuff. It was a very impressive run.
He's taped up. I saw it in the.
Was he KT taped up?
Yeah, it was KT taped up, which might be the first U.S. champ to ever be taped up and win.
Him and Clayton Murphy.
Yeah. So all right, so we've kind of given Jonah Koech some of his props. Ethan Strand, when over the course of the last couple months at the NCAA level, like we've questioned at times, like, oh yeah, we know he's fit, we know he's fast, he's super talented, but then it just like his tactics are maybe sometimes a hair off come the final,
or way off,
think about it. NCAA final.
Yeah, and I was super critical. I was crazy critical
at 200 meters to go, and off of a slow race, and now here he is, like. And Jonah Koech is fighting for his life to get past him in that last 30 meters in a 3:30 race.
I'm happy for the kid because he worked so hard today in that third and final lap that like he could have been on the other side of things too.
That Prefontaine International Mile was so big for him.
Absolutely. He runs 3:48, gets a huge win here, and it's like, I am the guy. I can do this.
Totally rights the ship from NCAAs.
Absolutely.
And it's like, no. This is the athlete that I am.
It's like the perfect momentum to go into this meet. And he clearly got a lot of confidence. And as soon as he won that race, now he starts talking, and he's like, look, I can make this team. clearly in shape, and I've got what it takes to make the team. And the dude is very, very talented.
You know what's crazy is we had those 3 guys, gold medalists, bronze medalists, 5th place in the final last year in the 15. And yeah, Cole makes the team again, but now the U.S. is just so deep in just about every event that if you make the team, you're almost expected to medal or at least place in you're supposed to make the final at Worlds or the Olympics if you make the U.S. team in any event. But those guys have got to be, all 3 of them are thinking medals.
100%. I mean, you're Cole Hawker, right? Like you're a gold medalist.
And Cole, like I think today, I mean, it's hard to say like I believe I'm in this shape when like the clock showed what you were in shape for like on today. But he's like, I think I'm back in that 327 range. It's like, okay, so that's like a good sign. But we always knew that Cole has the highest self-belief in himself than any athlete in this field. This was a big breakthrough for sure for Jonah Koech and for Ethan Strand. So to finish that thought on Strand, grade his execution today.
I mean,
Can't fault it at all, right?
I mean,
made the team. That's the whole point.
It's like an A+
for
race.
him, right?
I mean, it took an unbelievable performance by Jonah to beat him, and I mean, because Strand's kick is very, 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 and he still had that kick.
Remember,
off
apparently
this
I
pace.
said it was the best in the world.
He did say it was the best in the world. I mean, look, that's a good.
Jonah
take.
said,
Yeah.
second best.
Second best in the country.
Yeah.
If you're Ethan Strand, like this is
It's huge.
It's huge. This is a career type of performance, right? Like these are the type of performances that kind of set the bar for your career as an athlete now. And now everybody's gonna look at Ethan Strand and be like, because now it's like, oh, it'd be great if he made the team. And now it's like, dude, you just beat the gold medalist from last year at the Olympic Games. Like now you should be thinking about medals, and it just now puts how everybody's going to look at Ethan Strand in a different light.
And you don't do it until you actually do it. And he's just made his first team. That's his he just signed professionally. And yeah, I mean, he goes into, like his goal today was to make the team.
Yeah.
I'm sure he probably would say, yeah, I wanted to win. But I think like Cole's walking away from this kind of pissed and a little bit almost like, that's it. You got to get that fly. You got it. I don't want to say Cole's like shaken from this, but he's kind of like, oh, that wasn't right.
I agree. First off, I think this is great for Cole in the sense that this is,
You want more fire.
of course, this lights a fire under his ass, right? And I'm not surprised at all for him to say, oh, I'm in 327 shape. I believe that. Yeah, he ran 330, and he made some tactical mistakes today, and he won this race last year a touch slower and went on to run 327. So I'm not at all surprised to hear him say that he's in 327 shape. I do think that, yes, like Mag, like, it's one thing to think and believe that you can do it, and it's an entirely different thing to actually go out and do it, right? It's like these are the races that affirm that you are the athlete you believe you are. And it's now this sets you to be like, okay, if I believed I could do it and I did it, and now I believe that I can medal, and I can go do it. And
for Strand to do that in that field is huge.
Yeah.
You're looking at the 5 of the best 1,500 meter runners in the world, and you're going, no, I'm going to make that team. I'm going to beat at least one of those guys. You have to have like just the utmost like belief in yourself to be able to go out and do that, especially on that day, and especially in a race where you have to run a PB in the heat. In that sort of atmosphere, it's huge. And it's hard as hell.
It's
so
the
just
hardest stakes to do it. It's like there's so much. I don't want to say there's more pressure at the U.S. Championships than there is like the World Championships, but there kind of is in the sense where it's like, okay, look, your big goal of the year was like to make the team, and now it's like, man, like just go have fun and see what you can do at Worlds in a sense. I'm thinking about like Yard. It's crazy because he's doing all this work, and he's pulling, he's from the front, he's looking at the Jumbotron, and he's like, they're all there, right? I don't feel great. Like I'm giving it 100%. I thought that everybody would be kind of strung out. I thought I would have a little bit of a gap probably doing this much work, and I'm looking up, and it's not just Cole Hawker and Hobbs Kessler there. You're like, they're bunching up back there.
Is there any worse feeling? Is there any
swinging wide?
Yeah, is there any worse feeling?
No,
you're like, oh, I'm giving it all I got, and you're getting clipped.
There actually isn't a worse feeling than like looking up, because there's a reason why it's people like to be sitting in second or third and be the one who's hunting rather than be, because you can feel them.
Oh,
right?
this is a good.
You
This
know-
is not
you-
good.
Because when you have a bit of a gap and when you've done the work and you separate yourself, then you get a little bit of momentum and you're like, oh, okay, I feel good. I can I can string it out a bit more, and I've got this. But when you look up and you hear the bell and you want that shot of adrenaline, and you look up and you see that the whole field is there, that is a real. It really does take a lot of wind out of your sail, and especially with like whenever everyone starts passing Yared, and you're like, man, you can just feel he's like, the team has slipped out of my reach, and it's done for me today.
But there's a shot.
Yeah, so for the people who are curious about, like, I feel like this is a unique year, so it's been the talk of the town once someone like doesn't make the team. It's like, well, what about that Diamond League final? Like, bye. And this is now going to be a precedent for future years, because if we're setting the Diamond League final for like before the World Championships, then it clears things up. Like, oh, you go win the Diamond League final, it means a bit more because you get to run Worlds, and Worlds is the end of the season. So Yared at this point is going to have to try to get into the Celestia Diamond League. I think that's an easy decision for the organizers when he's got the Olympic bronze medal. Maybe if you're Hobbs Kessler, you also petition to get into that. Let me pull up the Diamond League standings.
Here we go.
Here we go. I mean,
but
wait,
it's not about, you win a meet and you get points.
So those
the
three
points
automatically go.
The points go. Yes,
And
our
then
top.
maybe if Yared or Hobbs won the Diamond League, they would get in.
Yes, because the reigning world champion is a Brit who lives in America, but he's not American. It's Josh Kerr.
Yeah.
So that's a plus for us. So if we look at the standings right now in the Diamond League, I think 12 guys get into the 15 final.
Sure.
Yeah. Sounds fine.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yared is 12th, so he has to go run Celestia, do well there, end up high enough in the Diamond League points, because then that gets you to the Diamond League final. Once you're in the Diamond League final, you have to win that race. So we're thinking that in Brussels, Yared has to beat Azadine Habs, who's run 3:27.
Was looking great.
Fanwell Koech, already named to the Kenyan team, so he's run 3:27.
Yeah.
Timothy Chariot, Reynold Chariot, maybe a Cam Myers. Josh Kerr could even show up and try and run the Diamond League final. But now if you think about it, just sort of like this is the ins and outs of track. Like Ray Flynn represents Yared Nuguse and Josh Kerr, and so it's like, all right, like if we want to improve Yared's chances of making it into the Diamond League final, maybe we don't send Josh. Whatever it is, like plain and simple, if Hobbs Kessler or Yared Nuguse want to try and get a last chance shot at the World Championships, they got to go and win 2 more races. That's Celestia and mostly Brussels. Yeah. So there is a chance. And then behind that, Gary Martin, PB 332 in 6th place. Like it was a good race for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
But it's just like, again, this event is just only getting better year over year.
Yeah, and I can't wait for Tokyo now. I can't wait to see what Strand does and what Jonah does, and I can't wait for Cole to try and. Has Cole won a race since the Olympics?
No, and that's like, I guess, like the chit chat around him, that like if the people who would be stupid enough to call like the gold medal a fluke or whatever, that performance.
I'd take that fluke any day of the week.
Yeah,
It's literally
right?
it's the absolute pinnacle of a career.
Yeah.
So,
And it's not like he wins this he's won this, what, three years in a row or something like that?
Yeah,
this?
I mean, he's fine.
He's fine. I'm just saying, like, there are, I mean, that just comes with the territory of sports. There are sports fans who are haters, and like, there are Cole Hawker haters.
you want to
out
have
there.
haters, right? Like everybody who is the best in what they do has people that want to take him down. Right? Like if he didn't have haters, that would be more alarming.
before we move on to the women's 15, am I looking at the right? Are these the results for the women's steeple?
Yeah.
Oh my
crazy
gosh.
Results.
All right, let's do women's 15 first.
Yeah.
And then wait
we'll
for
get into
Aisha
this.
because.
Well, Aisha's going to be a bit upset.
Well, I mean, hey, we're pros here.
Yeah.
She just comes in sobbing hysterically. We're like, lock it in.
All right, let's touch on the women's 15 then, because this one,
Quite the opposite
Literally
of the
exact
men's.
opposite of the men's in the sense that
but predicted. Like this is kind of what we thought was going to happen.
that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
the men's, like I did not see this coming, and then the women's, you're like, I saw this coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the opposite.
Like you run this race 1,000 times, and I think that's how it's run pretty much every single time.
So what happened in this one is obviously with the absence of Ellie St. Pierre, we were all wondering, it's like, so who's going to be, the person to take it? And it was very passive, I would say, among like everyone. Lori Barton from the Atlanta Track Club ends up in the front, and you could tell at this point that there are runners in this field who look for Nikki or Sinclair, knowing that those two are safe people. If like I can just glue myself to them and just cover whatever they do, I'll be okay. And so there was a lot of that. Just like Nikki was on the inside for a good chunk of that race, where I was like, oh my gosh, like how are they going to get out of that? But you trust a 7-time now, spoiler alert, 8-time champion to do it. Signature kick unleashed in the final lap, overtakes Sinclair Johnson, who like that was the battle that we all wanted to see. And with it was like 350 meters to go, they're side by side. Nikki gets a couple steps on Sinclair, then just kind of continues to power away in the final 200. Everyone's attention kind of then shifts over because you see Nikki is in the clear going to Tokyo, Sinclair in the clear going to Tokyo. From there, it was the battle that was built up between former New Balance Boston teammates Emily Mackay and Heather McLean, which Heather was one of those athletes who, rightfully so, trains alongside Nikki Hiltz and was like, this, make it feel like practice, close this thing out. But just with 100 meters to go, you could tell that there was like a target on Heather's back, and Emily Mackay just, what a dagger, like just made the pass, no, like didn't look back or anything like that, but just cleared Heather and powered away. And then there was a bit of distance, that Mackay put on McLean in the final 100 meters. And so your team going to Tokyo is fairly clear here in this situation: Nikki, Sinclair, and Emily. Heather finishes 4th, Danny Jones 5th, and yeah, it was a crazy fall in this one.
Really hard fall by
Riley Chamberlain took the fall, but then
Helen.
it was Helen who got clipped and then landed on her face.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see falls
Hard.
that hard in the 15. So, and this is someone that had a shot at making the team.
Well, it was it like was toward the back and then comfortably moved up toward the front as well. It was an exciting race, very nerve-wracking race, I think, because it was so high stakes, but played out, I think, according to how many people saw this one going.
Oh, for sure. And it's funny you talk about like there's almost like a reverse between the women's fields and the men's fields over the last. If Ellie isn't in it, the women's field is more likely to jog now over the first couple laps than the men's field. And traditionally, it's quite the opposite.
100%.
So yeah, to watch them go out there and run 68s off the bat, and you're like, okay, well, who's gonna crack first? Who's gonna commit to pulling from further out? And it ends up being Sinclair. I think that if we figured it was gonna be Emily or Sinclair, Emily has done it indoors, and it paid off with a medal at World Indoors, and Sinclair's done that as well. So to see Sinclair pull it from a lap out, not surprising. And if you're anyone that's racing Nikki, like at this point, it's kind of like, what can you do? Can you run? Do you try to run away from Nikki, or do you try to, out squeeze Nikki over the final 600? Just kind of a tough spot to be in if you're anyone else besides Nikki. So you're at that point, I think you're like, what's going to give me as someone that isn't Nikki, the best chance of making the team. If you're Sinclair, it's like, yeah, just make the last 600 honest, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
If you're Emily, you're like, yeah, I trust my last 600 over just about anybody else's. So you let it sit. You're fine. You don't need it to go out in 63s. You can let it go 68s, and you can kind of just bank on, I'm not going to blow up. So I'm just going to be moving forward over the final lap, and I'm fine. I'm good to go.
Agree with the statement? I guess like in this field, yes, right? You ask any of them, and it's like, I'd love to win the race. I think in this, looking at the way that this race plays out, only 2 people in this field raced for the win. Everyone else was racing for a spot on the team.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that's okay. Like, you got to be honest
for a meet like this.
Yeah,
yes.
and you got to be honest with where you're at. And like for a lot of these athletes, for most of them, it's about, this is a qualifier.
Well, I thought they ran. Yeah, like what
This is a qualifying
race. What are you
race.
gonna do? Like hit the front and try and run away from Nikki or Sinclair, right?
You can't do that.
You can't do that. Also, Nikki's kick is getting better, a lot better.
Yes, yeah.
Violent last 50, 70 meters.
Right. It's not even the last like 200. It's like the last 50 is disgusting.
Yeah, and I thought I actually tactically Sinclair ran a great race.
Yeah,
right? You're like slowly
I
got
totally messed up the play-by-play. I recall this race very wrong. Nikki didn't make the pass until like 50 meters to go.
No. Like Sinclair, it really was a pretty late move. Not a late move. I thought it was for Sinclair tactically very sound. Right at like 500, you slowly are like never was in a bad place, never on the rail, never boxed, and just at 400 slowly gets to the front and then tries to wind it up, but. Again, what are you gonna? Nikki's kick is just fantastic.
What I thought was a fantastic show of patience from Nikki was when Emily Mackay was moving up on the outside, and I think it was with 2 laps to go. And I think a lot of athletes right there, instead of getting boxed in and letting it ride out, like a lot of athletes would move out. If they were in Nikki's position, be like, oh, I'm not gonna get boxed in. I'm gonna go to the front because I'm fit enough to do it. And Nikki was like, no, I'm just gonna get boxed in because I think they wanted Sinclair to take the pace from whenever it was gonna happen. So like Nikki just stayed super patient, waited an entire 400 meters before Sinclair took the pace because they knew Sinclair was going to do that eventually, and just followed along once Sinclair made that kind of definitive move at 400 to go. There's a lot of little things going on in there when the race is slow. Like we're talking about, like which didn't happen on the men's side.
Yeah,
there was a lot of things going on in the top 5 of that women's field that wasn't happening in the men's field, and it's really hard to do, but it's really fun to watch at the same time.
It is. It is fun because people like to talk about, I want to watch these athletes run the fastest race possible, but I think like that women's race.
Awesome. It was awesome.
I think it's super fun. I think it's super fun to watch the tactical races kind of play out. It really is a chess match in there. Yeah. And there's a lot of gamesmanship going on. There's a lot of who can be the most calm and the most stressed, because it is like the most stressful races are the slow races where you're getting boxed. You're deciding, do I try and push and get physical and get out into a safe spot, or do I trust that the gap's going to open? Do I do all these things? So yeah, I loved the kind of the difference between the men's and the women's races.
Yeah. Hi, Aisha.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Oh, just yapping about some 1500s.
What a crazy journey.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Hit us with your thoughts on. We did the men's 15, but we have to get your thoughts. Yeah.
The men's 15, watching Yard Negus, I thought I was watching
Hold on. I don't know if your mic's on here.
Yard
Serious difference.
Yard Negus, I feel for the guy, but I felt like I was watching Jakob Ingebrigtsen race a World Championship final.
Wow.
Like,
I think that's what
a comp. We hadn't pulled that one yet.
Yeah, like going out in 56 and then slowing down to a 58 mid. It's like you sting the legs out of only the people who went with you in that initial move, and then you slow it down enough to let the field back. And then people get a little confident. People think, okay, I'm right here. We're back in it. But in being the sacrificial guy out in the front, you open yourself up to the wind, to the elements, to the doubt of, can I hold this? And that's what I saw.
Yard should do the 5.
Move up.
Do the like. I mean, it's like. Shit, I wish I had entered into that 5K.
Well, that's the crazy part is he has no backup plan except for going out and running the
Oh,
down.
I thought you were making a joke.
Yeah.
You're like dead ass.
He's washed.
Yeah.
No, he's washed.
Hates
No.
the 5,000 meters. It's
Yeah,
like
but it's like you want to run that 5 and make the team. You're like, I don't hate it.
Running 13:20 and making the 5K team right now sounds kind of nice.
Yeah,
Pretty
you're like,
nice.
Shit, I want to go. I at least want to go to Tokyo.
I believe Cole Hawker's intention is still a double. Hey, tell the story about your walk. We were walking.
Oh yeah, we have a source.
Oh yeah, no. So me and Mac are leaving the stadium. We walked right out. We're on a high. We're chatting about what happened in the 15, and we're alongside maybe a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Audio team.
It's hard to tell between if he was 10, if he was 8, if he was 12, but it was a kid and
A young buck.
It was
But
a
it was a
young
kid.
buck, and Mac was like, "What'd you think about that 15, man?"
Oh wait,
And-
hold on. So this kid also we're getting crap for leaving the stadium early, but we were just like we have to set up and start as soon as possible. And Aisha stayed back. This kid also left the stadium early.
Yeah, with us. Basically walked out with Eric and I.
Yeah, no, he was.
He's like, I've seen
Like,
it
I've seen what I need to see. I got to go back to my YouTube
Yeah,
stream.
we weren't just
Gotta get Bluey back
we weren't
on.
just flagging random kids down to get their take. We were shoulder to shoulder, and Mac was like, "What'd you think about that 15?" And he was like, "Man, like crazy to see. I'm surprised Yard's not on the team. I'm really glad Cole made it." And he's like, "Yeah, my dad. Well, because my dad coaches him." And we're like, "Oh, you're Ben Thomas's kid?" He's like, "Yeah." And we're like, "You want to hop on the pod?"
We're like, where?
Yeah.
Can we get some insights from
Yeah.
the young Mr. Thomas?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you ask. I go, how's Cooper looking?
Yeah.
How's he looking at practice?
Mac started digging. He's like, "Well, I don't know, man."
I gotta go back.
I've said too much. I've said too much. I
Yeah.
got to go. Yeah.
Gotta go watch my truck tunes now for like.
But yeah, you never know who you're walking out of the stadium with.
But he seemed pretty dialed.
He was.
He knew what was what was going
Yeah,
on.
no, he was locked
You're
in.
still getting audio feedback in the chat.
I know because they're
You can say Mac level off your mic.
audio terrorists.
Anyway, all right then. Women's 15. What'd you think about that?
There was so much chaos. I need to watch the last 300 back because I was really concerned about Helen.
Yes, I reached out to
Is she all right?
somebody to ask and see if we have any update. I did see Brian Schrader when I was, or her husband, on the walkout. Yeah,
I didn't know that they were married.
yeah. They got married, I think, like last December or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it was a very concerning fall.
Yeah, I
After
mean,
the race, she had someone had handed her a rag or a paper towel or something, and she kept going like this, and then I could see from the triple deck up that she had blood.
Yeah.
So that was really tough. And I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes collegians in these really professional women's 1500s are really physical. Like you have to have a lot. I mean, no matter if you're a veteran or an up and comer, is there is another element of physicality that I don't think people expect. I think, sitting and watching on TV, you're like, oh wow, they're running really close to each other. But there is a lot of, you have to have a ton of really good stability and core stability and awareness of who's running where and who's around you. But that's the stuff that you hate to see because, who knows?
She clipped it. How did she go down? Did she
So
clip the heels?
No,
of-
if Riley Chamberlain went down and then
then
she fell on Riley, I think.
Yeah, I think Riley's legs caught Helen. Riley going down, her legs were kind of parallel to the track and caught Helen, took Helen's legs from underneath. And Helen looked like she was trying to slow down and get around, but because Riley's legs had come up, there was no clearance. So she basically tripped over her legs and then landed really face first on
yeah,
the
no,
track.
it
That
was
was really rough. I hope she's okay.
Yeah, rough fall.
We'll keep people posted if we hear anything.
There's
on
a
her
lot of
status.
when those type of things happen. There's so much adrenaline going on, and you get this huge adrenaline dump. I mean, it was the bell lap.
Bell lap.
Like, you're getting
You
adrenaline,
hear the
you're
bell
getting-
and you're
you're-
just like a rabid dog.
Like you hear that bell, and you're getting adrenaline, and then that fall. And so, like right now, like you just hope everything's okay. Hopefully,
Hope she's okay.
hope she's healthy
So-
and things like that. But man,
So when I then clocked back in of like, oh, the race is unfolding, I look up and I see the last 200. And I mean, what a thrilling race, because the team wasn't set, the order wasn't set really until the last 60 meters, which is just such a great 1,500 meter racing. And the battle even for fourth and fifth with Danny Jones and Heather McLean, like that was incredible. I was, I used to train with Danny, and I saw her in the prelim, and I thought, oh no, oh gosh, it turns out she had food poisoning. And so really big surprise for her to come back and be so close. But yeah, I mean, it was incredible. As we said this morning, Nikki wins. Nikki wins. And before the race, we were talking about what do we think is going to happen? What do we think is going to happen? And something that we were discussing was it kind of doesn't matter, because Nikki is equipped to win in any scenario, which is that's like the power crystal of life as a track athlete. It's very few people can win in all scenarios, and it's really cool to see them execute it on yet another stage, yet another really interesting dynamic. Love to see that. And then, I mean, Sinclair looked amazing too, and so did Emily.
Yeah. This is a strong team. And I think last year, Nikki made the final at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Only American in the final? Helen. Oh, no. And Ellie. Yeah,
Ellie.
that's right. Yeah. But Ellie's not here this season. So I think Nikki, Sinclair, and Emily are all very capable of making that final this year.
100%. Yeah.
And I think for someone like Emily, that Olympic experience is going to go a long way, because she had only reached the semifinals, I think, last year. And so year over year, more experience on those stages, like that's going to be big. Now, one thing that I guess like maybe it's top three get the option, and then they just go down descending order, like big points on the line for the NACAC team. And like you get a trip to the Bahamas, and like sounds like a good opportunity for some of these athletes, just all around in general, like big points.
And that
NACAC.
world ranking, that stays on your calendar for a really, really long time. So if you're an up and comer and you're, I don't know, maybe watching the show in an ice bath, if you have the opportunity to race at NACACs and you're on that bubble, that can be a huge boost for your career. And again, more championship racing, the more you do it, the more reps you get, the better you'll be.
Apparently Helen Schlocknoven is in the mix zone right now, so she must be doing fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
All right, then this is kind of tied to things about talking about those big points. Like the results of both steeplechase races are kind of crazy.
Crazy.
So we got treated to some upsets, some all-around surprising distance races here today. Kenneth Rooks, he was leading at 2K, and then all the way through to the finish line, 8:26 for the win. It's just the chaos of what happened behind him. It was like you're looking around and you're like, who's that? Like, that person's still in the mix? And it's like, where's the people that I fully expected? Like James Corrigan, member of the Olympic team, NCAA champion, last place, 8:37. Other member of the Olympic team, Matthew Wilkinson, ends up finishing fourth. Like he
looked completely out of it. With
like
200 to
fourth,
go.
He's
not
not
pretty
fighting,
fourth.
He wasn't fighting for the team fourth. It was people fading.
Could have been fifth had Isaac Updike not fallen right after the final water barrier. And it's that's the thing about the steeplechase, is that going into that final lap, there's just I've never steepled in my life, and so I guess you could tell us, just like when it is so high pressure and like you're looking around and there's like two people next to you and there's one spot on the line, it always comes down to that final water jump.
That final so much stuff happens
Your
on
mind
that final
must be
water
going
jump.
nuts. And so if you can just successfully get over that, then you have a better shot of it than clear. And Bernard Keeter ends up being the beneficiary here today, because like he's also one of those guys who's like not having like the best season, has made teams in the past, successfully cleared that water barrier, got him enough room to beat Isaac Updike and Matthew Wilkinson, and now he's not in the world rankings quota either, but potentially could make the team. Same with Dan Michalski, who finishes second. He's listed as the Air Force. He's a guy who was fourth like a couple of years back. Just recently, I believe, went and moved to Provo to train under Ed Eyestone. So now Eyestone, just like last year, gets 1-2 at the trials with Rooks and Corrigan last year. This year, Rooks and Michalski. So, very strange result. And so for Michalski and Bernard Keeter, like that option of going to the NACAX, that honestly like
big.
would be big for them.
Or heading over to Europe and running a couple of high ranking sort of fast. The trouble with anything really over 1,500 meters in the Bahamas, it's really hot and it's very windy. So is your performance bonus point really going to account for if you end up not running very fast in the steeple? Hard to say. But Chris, you said something about the last water jump in the steeple.
Explain that one to me.
So it's really interesting, the mentality you have to be a championship steepler, or to really even be a steepler in general. The best steeplers in the world do not have fear. And it's not a question in the mind of whether, like, how it's going to go. It is something that you prepare for. You mentally prepare that I'm going to hit that mother freaking steeple barrier with my foot. I'm going to plant so firmly on it, and I'm going to basically clear the water. I'm going to launch off that so hard. I would always think about that. And you think races are won and lost on the last steeple jump, on the last water barrier every time. Think of Emma Coburn and Courtney Frerichs in 2017. It is you picture that heroic crescendo, that final exclamation point. I can never say that word at the end of your race. And that is something that all of these athletes that rise to the top in every occasion think about, is like, that is, some people see it as a risk, and the greats see it as an opportunity every time.
Mm-hmm. It always brings the drama in track. It's that steeple. So yeah, again, like this, there's an opportunity to chase the standard. 8:15 is hard. And we'll see. Or no, yeah.
So only
Rooks has World
has
Championship
it,
standard.
yeah.
And if Michalski and Keeter just don't get in the quota, then Wilkinson and Updike, I think, end up on the team.
They have the standard. Wilkinson and Updike have the standard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the rep team.
Yeah, but that's a
They
little
set
bit
that up.
different.
For Corrigan.
Yeah, but again, that's I
I'm
think,
like, how hard are they riding with Mahalski?
But if he's
Oh,
a
that's
newcomer, maybe
true.
they're not
You
riding so
know?
hard.
yeah, if he's in that Run Elite program, and well, I'm sure that they could set up a time trial. The challenge is you have to know that the person is going to be fit enough to run fast. Get a pacer who's going to be able to make it run.
Oh no, there's a lot of things.
Then
that
you have to find the
go
meet.
to work. Yeah.
See what the status of that meet is. If you can load it up on prize money and know somebody who could do that,
Yeah.
then like it elevates the category of the meet potentially, and then try and get it done. Like there's a lot of moving.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's
no,
not
there's-
just
there's
like
a lot
a
of moving
1,500 or whatever.
I'm not
It's
thinking like the Bowerman time trials.
exactly.
Like, right?
This is
Yeah.
a really challenging. Finding a good steeple pacer is nearly impossible, because if somebody's good enough to pace at that,
Well, yeah.
that level.
Last year, didn't Rooks just do it?
Yeah, Rooks did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Corrigan, yeah.
yeah,
So-
and you'd only ride for him if you knew that he could do it, because it is such a risk. Every steeple race is a risk. Injury,
Yeah.
Yeah.
impact.
Not to go all nerd on everyone, but like, yeah, I was looking at the world rankings on this, and like 12-12 is the in the quota right now, and Michalski's ranking doesn't get up that high after today. Maybe I'm not as obsessive over the men's steeplechase in the world ranking system, so like, I don't know I haven't reached out to the Japanese steeplechaser or the Norwegian steeplechaser to ask them if they're doing it. I don't know what Leonard Chimutai from Uganda is going to be doing. He's the African champion. So,
Got some messages this end.
yeah, I'm gonna end up following like 20 steeplechasers from around the world.
You're
and
watching
sliding
their
into
Instagram
DMs.
stories, like, do they look fit? I'm
Yeah.
not so sure. Are they
Or
ready?
who's hurt.
Yeah, who's hurt?
But Keeter's like way further down on the world rankings.
Yeah, I haven't really
looked at
seen him
his.
racing that
Yeah.
much.
There's one more Diamond League steeple in Brussels 2 days before it closes, but that's the Diamond League final. No?
No, it's Zurich is the
Oh,
Diamond
Zurich
League final.
is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Keeter and Michalski will, like, they'd love to get into that race, but how many?
That's
like,
not. Yeah, that's not a gimme.
826 is not
Yeah.
like a. All right, like we'll take a shot on that guy. Like these European meet directors, you got to really impress them to get in.
Yeah, and I
So-
think that's always. I think that's a good thing. Like, there are a lot of great athletes in the world, and these races are meant to be the cream of the crop of the world. The top 12 steeplers in the world. So that's a tall ask to get into the Brussels Diamond League.
All right, so we left the stadium early, and I tried getting into Joymo, which apparently was not showing the steeple. Apparently
on
ended up on
Peacock?
Peacock, but we had a Peacock stream and weren't showing it. And so, or at least we left the laptop in there. That's the real answer. So we ended up just like watching
No, they weren't.
the live
no,
results.
I'm pretty sure they didn't show it.
Really?
I don't believe they did, but
This is a problem. Like with just like the presentation is sort of like that we expected people to be able to have the knowledge, like even we did, like to jump from one streaming thing to the next. Not the ideal way. They already had to jump 3 times. This morning, if you wanted to watch some of the early stuff, it's on USATF.tv. Then you get the TV window, and then the TV window ends. They don't even acknowledge that there's another event that's taking place on the track. Then they don't they don't even tell you go to USATF.tv to watch the next race.
yeah, no, you say great day on the track, see you later, and it's like you can see
The
women's
team
people
boss
lining up.
group chat absolutely
Yeah.
exploded of what, and these are active professionals following the sport, watching every single race on TV. What's going on?
At least
Chaos
say, yeah.
ensued.
And so then now you're like, oh, someone get a laptop. I got to log into Peacock or, change it on the Roku or whatever it is. It's like by the time that mad scramble takes place, you're 5 laps into the steeple.
You miss it.
You miss it.
You
So
miss
we
action.
missed it. But then once the results started populating in front of me, I'm like, what the hell happened in this one? So Aisha, you were there. You saw it. A very emotional race for you, I'm sure.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I was blacking out a little. I'll do my best recollection. I really, the first 2K is a bit more clear in my mind. Courtney Wayment goes to the front and is sort of driving the bus. The runner from NC State, Gabby Jennings, they were all sort of in the lead. A few more folks came up. Their first K was 3:02. They slowed a bit. And what we were talking about on the morning show in the men's steeple, where there's a lot of capable athletes, and the women's steeple this year is quite deep in the U.S. And what ends up happening is more people are at the party than I think a lot of the athletes expected. Like there was a huge group of women even going into the final water barrier. I mean, it was crazy. We saw, I was confused. Like at one point, Chrissy Gear comes charging. I mean, the signature kick, like as it slowed down, you think, okay, you can't let, you got to run the kick off of Chrissy Gear. Chrissy Gear nearly makes the team as she's absolutely hawking down
Olivia Marquez,
Kaylee
Mitchell was
Mitchell.
right there. Ooh, wow.
And she holds form, and Kaylee Mitchell feels Chrissy Gear coming up on her outside shoulder, and it was amazing. The response from her to find another gear to hold on for the team was incredible. It was incredible. Olivia Marquez, she didn't look particularly poppy, and she wasn't really asserting herself in the conversation very much. But she it was kind of a war of attrition out there. Ends up in sort of a decent place in the last lap. Really feel for Gabby Jennings. I think going to the meet that she was a favorite, probably between
ranked
her
8th in the world, yeah.
ranked 8th in the world. Between her and Courtney Wayment, they've been racing really well on the international circuit, and it's just tough. USA's is a lot of pressure. It's a different beast. And it is, it's tough to see when one of the favorites just doesn't have their day.
Yeah. This is a whole new team. None of these people have made a U.S. global team before. So that we'd have to go back and look and see like when's the first time we had all first timers on a team, because like if you think about the U.S. like over the years, if Emma had not been on the team, then you had Courtney, and if both of them were not on the team, at least you had Courtney Wayment who had been on
Right.
teams, and so there's kind of like a pass, not a passing of the torch, but like a mentorship that takes place. And now you've got 3 athletes who've never gone through the rounds, like all first timers, all very young, like all just out of college within the last like 2 years. Is
they all have standards and they're all.
Yeah,
I mean,
all
they
these
ran
top
lights
three,
out
yeah,
today.
yeah.
909 for the win, I
wow.
believe. I'm pulling up the results now. Yeah, 909. Lexi Halliday Lowry, Angelina Napoleon 910, Kaylee Mitchell 911. I mean, what the standard is 920 flat, or what's the standard?
The standard is 918 flat.
918 flat.
And yeah, this is an unfortunate one where like even someone like Gabby Jennings, who's been racing so well in the Diamond League circuit, like if everyone's pulling the popular Diamond, let's see if we can go get the Diamond League final by like not an event like this. Like it's a very unfortunate reality that like you want to try and win the Diamond League final, you're gonna have to go run 840 for the steeple. Like just not gonna happen.
not gonna
So like
happen.
the U.S. will send 3. Now, happy for the 3 runners who made the team, but firmly do I believe that this is the strongest team that the U.S. could send for an international global championship like this? No, and I think it's because I do value a lot of that experience. Like Courtney Wayman and Val Constein are just so much more seasoned against the internationals that it's going to feel weird even if we go to the World Championships and I want to root for an Angelina Napoleon or Alexi Halliday Lowry to carry that momentum from the collegiate season to make it all the way to the final. But I just like I want to see that breakthrough. What I'm saying is it's going to feel weird, and I'm not going to be surprised if no Americans make it to the final in Tokyo. It's a very downer of a take, but like it's just because I don't know if this is the strongest team that we could have sent, but that's why we run the race.
Yeah, but I mean, also it's like, this might not. You're saying like, this might not be the strongest team, and there's others who have more seasoned competition against international fields, but it's like they just got beat handedly by the women who are going to go. And it's like, how do you get that international competition? It's by winning races like this.
By doing the thing you're going to have to do in a month.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
combined, I think of the top 3, there's maybe 2 career Diamond League appearances from that top 3. And both of them were this year.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a stretch. It's going to be putting yourself in an arena that you haven't been in yet. But Eric is exactly right. You are supposed to rise to the occasion, and you are supposed to be able to throw yourself into the fire and come out the other side. And it's not just a physical game, it's a mental game. And these 3 women earn their spot. And it is hard. It's like, personally, I'm heartbroken for Gabby Jennings. Like, this woman has risen to an insane level, and I think she can run even faster this year. It's so gutting to watch a performance like that when you know that there's so much potential and there's so much heart there, and it's really sad to see. But like, the sport is brutal, and it rewards those who can rise to the occasion, and it's hard, but we have to give it to the 3 women that came 1, 2, 3. They did it. They got the job done, and who knows? You know, that's a ton of momentum. There's really smart coaches behind all of these women, and there will be time for them to take a breath. It's not like it's it's not like it's right around the corner. They have some days where they can have a little bit of downtime and bring the training back up and get ready for Worlds.
I want to be proven wrong. That's at the heart of it. Like I'm hoping for those breakouts to come in Tokyo, but yeah, I mean, it feels just. I mean, I'm looking at all these results are making me feel weird. Like it's not what we predicted.
I don't know about it, man. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't want these races that are like, I know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like you want the races that's like, I didn't see that coming at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more fun to watch. It's like, this is an entirely different team than anybody like expected, and that's what makes it exciting, and that's what makes the U.S. Championship such a intense meet, because it's those 3 go. Like this is the biggest for these athletes. This is the high pressure meet of the year. This is when you're in the fall starting your training block. This is what you're thinking about. This is the goal, to make the team. And it's it's mentally a very hard thing to come in. A lot of pressure. Contracts are on the line. Am I going to get reduced? It's there's so much going on, and that's why a lot of times like these collegiate athletes come in and they do so well, because my big goal was NCAAs, and now it's like, okay, the big goal is NCAAs. Just see what we do at the US Championships. Have a bit of fun. Whereas the pros is, I've got the US Championships. If I don't do well, right, like this is my meet, the one thing circled on the calendar for the entire year, and it's just kind of a different mindset to come in, and there's a bit more high pressure situations for the pros.
There's also a difference between the men's steeple result and the women's steeple result. Like the men's steeple result, those aren't world-class times. Those women just ran world-class times.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
9:09 is no joke. 9:11 is no joke.
Yeah.
Like those are serious world-class international field making the final times. Like that's what you need to be running around 9:10 or faster to be really in the conversation, and they just put themselves in the conversation. It's not like, oh, they ran, 9:20 with a fast close. It's like, no, that's a big dog time.
And you see, and it's like, okay, you run the time and you're beating the competition. Courtney Wayman, like you're beating these people who are seasoned and who are expected to do so well. That gives you such a big confidence boost, such a big mental jump that you would expect now to go in and do well against the international fields.
And sometimes when you have something that goes horribly wrong like this, for a Courtney Wayman, for a Gabby Jennings, there is, you wake up in the next day, you look in the mirror and you're like, all right, like, F it. The worst thing that could possibly happen just happened. I'm going to go through the rest of the summer. And it can really be a motivating factor of who knows what it's going to look like next year. That's why they run the race every time. You never know what's going to happen. And if these like, huge upsets happen, that can make you like turn into an absolute monster, because the worst happened. Like there's nothing to fear.
Yeah.
All right, that was the distance action that took place today at the U.S. Championships. Let's
switch spots with
you guys can swap out,
Anderson.
and then me and Anderson can run through some of these sprint finals that took place. Thank you, Eric and Aisha.
Thanks.
What a day.
What a day.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That was a good handoff. Someone get Anderson on the 4x1.
Right? I mean, listen, USA might need it.
All right, Anderson. So today's action started off with a couple rounds of the men's 110 hurdles. No surprises here.
Literally
Not much to talk
every
about.
single person went through in the 110 hurdles because we had some people pull out. So that
Wow, you're
literally
right.
every single person
The
went
most
through.
pointless round that ever took place at a U.S. championship.
It was so useless. So useless.
Only newsy bit out of this thing is that what is the plan? Grant Holloway's going to run one more round and then he's going to call it?
So he actually didn't come through the mix zone,
Okay.
so not 100% sure. I assume so. That's what he's done in the past. That's what he's done, the heats, the semis, and then just pulled out because he has a wild card. So
In general, how do you think he looked today?
he looked pretty good. I think what he did today was pretty in line with what he's shown over the past, the more recent races. So nothing like too drastic. We know that he doesn't perform as well in like the last 3 to 4 hurdles or so. He starts to run up on them a little bit, but I don't think there was anything that tells me like, oh, he looked worse or better or anything like that.
Trey Cunningham, I think, posted the fastest time of the day, 13:10. Dylan Beard, 13:13 overall.
these
I mean, they
guys.
both won their respective heats. Like,
Yeah.
when we look at the top 4 or 5 guys in this one, Trey, Dylan Beard, Grant Holloway, Jamal Britt, Cordell Tinch. You remove Grant Holloway, who has the world championship bye. Is the team coming out of that group?
Probably. Trey, I think, looks the best. He's looked the best coming in. He has the best time out of the heats, and I suspect he even in the mix zone said, like, I'm making this team. Like, I'm confident. So Trey looks good. Dylan also is in that convo. I think the only other guy who I might say is Jacoby Tharp. He's an NCAA champion. He didn't perform well in the heats here, but I don't think it says too much. I think he's probably going to be in that conversation as well.
People are probably just watching, being like, "Did Chris just open a second can of Lollipop on this stream?" That's right.
Legit did.
drinklollipop.com, promo code CITIUS25. All right, then next up we had the women's 100-meter hurdles. Okay, in this one, 8 people got eliminated.
8 people eliminated, and this one at least they were smart enough to reduce it to, they only had 2 rounds. Here they had the semis and they had the final, in the afternoon. So quick. I think all the big names were able to qualify through, and then we saw the final later on in the afternoon, which is
wait. So why is there that difference? That like
I think just the entries, the amount of entries. So in the men's 110 hurdles, Daniel Roberts and one other athlete had pulled out, so they had enough, quote unquote, to justify 3 rounds. In the women's, enough women didn't actually compete, so they were able to cut it down, just like some of the other events. So yeah, this one they just ran in one day again.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I've heard some mixed results, across the board with like certain athletes saying like it's good to have only 2 rounds. Some athletes would have preferred 3 rounds. I understand the logistics as to why USATF did it to condense the meet, but positives and negatives. I don't know.
In the final, which we can just fast forward to. Let me pull up those results. Masai Russell 12:22 after going, what was it, 12:24 in the first
heats.
Yep.
Yeah, 12:25 in the first round and 12:22 in this final. Second best time of her career, only behind that American record of 12:17 that she ran earlier this year.
Yeah,
which is insane.
At pre, she didn't have the best showing, and then she was like, but that was her first race after like a whole month off.
Whole month off, yes.
Now it's like, all right, Masai is back on top.
She's back, and so I spoke with her, and I spoke with her coach afterwards as well. She ran the American record, 12:17 at Miami Grand Slam track. She picked up an injury right after, and
it's like her ankle, right?
Yeah, well, her ankle, kind of foot situation. She picked up a strain, a little injury. So her coach was telling me that he had her just like straight working out right after that American record race, as opposed to like taking things back because she pushed her body to a level that she never went to. So that led to the injury. And then Masai was kind of explaining how there was points she couldn't even walk for a couple weeks and things like that. And she had a little bit of doubt about her ability to come back. Not full doubt of like, I'm never going to come back, but anything that, any human is going to go through. But she was like, nah, like I was determined. I was focused on actually getting back. And she won in emphatic fashion. Like she crossed the line. She put a crown on her head. She was saying that she is the queen of the hurdles. Like, and she deserves it. Like Olympic trials champion, Olympic champion, now USA Championships winner. So I think she has a lot of confidence now going into the World Champs.
How is she ranked 3rd in the world right now?
She doesn't have, last year, even though she won trials and Olympics, she didn't have the best season. I don't even know if she won an individual race.
Won 2, probably.
Maybe Akira Nugent might be up there. Maybe Jasmine might be up there in terms of women who have had like good seasons. But I mean,
world ranking doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. Masai Russell is good.
Grace Stark. Oh, actually, that's one of the people ahead of her. She's ranked number 2 in the world.
Oh, there we go.
Grace Stark, who has been on a tear this season, 12:31 makes the team. Alicia Johnson, 12:36 makes the team. So it's the Olympic team from last year.
Same Olympic team, which is crazy. Yeah.
Which I cannot remember. This is a good stat for you to look up, I think, at some point. When's the last time the U.S. went back-to-back, same top 3 in the 100 hurdles?
I don't know if that's... I can look. I don't know if that's ever happened.
At a global championship, right?
Like, I don't think it's ever happened.
It's an event that turns over talent year over year.
So quickly. Because you think of like Kenny Harrison, who was 4th here. She's been making teams consistently. Someone who wasn't here, Nia Ali, who's been an Olympic and world champion and Olympic medalist. So yeah, there's so much turnover. So seeing this consistency, and all these women are relatively young and they're still competitive. Masai, Grace, Alicia, like they're running some of the fastest times of their career this year. So I think we're sending a strong team, even though the hurdles in general are just so unpredictable.
Is this year like when we have been just a trend across like the board of we've seen at these championships and just at the global stage, is that like just because you had success at the Paris Olympics and it was an incredible meet in and of itself, like doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to look easy in the year that follows. Masai Russell might be one of the few Olympic champions who's looked better this year than last year.
Yeah, that is a good point. Because
the whole podium, Jasmine Camacho-Quinn dealing with a couple injuries.
Yep.
Same thing, Serena Sambamaiela, injuries. Akira Nugent, who was 4th, like she's
looking good. Yeah. But yeah, Masai, has like taken a step up because like mentioning the world rankings, she didn't have a great season last year, but she showed up at the big moments. This year, even despite the injury, she's had a pretty good season and she's showing, I mean, she even dominated indoors. Like I feel like this is the year where Masai is like, nah, like I am that girl. I am the best hurdler in the world. And she wants to really prove to the world that she's going for another title.
Speaking of the best hurdler in the world,
yes,
who is not contesting the hurdles this year,
yes,
the one and only Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone ends up winning the women's 400. Not a surprise. Runs 48.90. That's the surprise because everyone was expecting her to. That's like, it's crazy because like everyone's expecting her to break the American record, and we just kind of like lose sight of just how fast 48.7 is. And so she runs 48.90, and I don't know, like people feel let down, but at the same time, it's like, well, on a plus side, we know that she's going to be contesting this event and is all in on it. She confirmed that in the
she's
mix-up.
not doing Diamond League to try and get the buy. Like she said, no, like she's not even wasting her time with that.
Yeah, and she clearly wants it because, like, although there are smiles that break through and she's, you know, taking pictures of the fans and like speaking to, you know, the in-stadium announcer and all that stuff, like she's very much like not necessarily thrilled by the result.
Yeah.
And I think today she attacked that first 200 so damn
She
hard.
went fast.
23.33. Then it was 12.15 for the next 100.
Next 100,
And then you could tell that it was in that
It
final
hurt
home
her.
stretch
It hurt her.
that she tied up, felt the lactic a bit,
Yeah.
48.90. This is the second fastest time of her career.
Third fastest. She ran
fastest.
48.74, 48.75, and now this 48.90. So, yeah, I think, and even when she crossed the line, you can, like, she immediately looked over to the clock and you could see in her face, she was like, I mean, she wanted, and in the past, she's spoken about wanting that American record. And I think looking forward, I feel like she wanted to get the American record here to kind of like check off that box and that goal to now prepare herself to go against Paulino and Nasser. Because that's the big matchup that everyone's been waiting for. That is a race that we all want to see. And I wonder, because now, so Nasser has a world lead at 48.6. Paulino has already run 48.8. And they don't have a trials to deal with. They've been doing that in one-off races. Sydney came here in a championship setting and ran 48.9. Now, she's, of course, in the conversation for not only a medal, but still a gold medal. But I wonder, like, what, I don't know, does this tell us anything about her chances? Does it decrease going to Worlds?
Here's where I'm feeling right now, that it's going to be hard to try and run the American record after 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
After 2 rounds, right? Then
Yeah,
you do it
yeah.
on the 3rd round. She has the magic of and the memories of having broken the world record and won Olympic gold on that same Tokyo track.
Yeah.
But she, in these situations, has never been the person chasing. Today, she was chased by Isabella Whitaker, who finished 2nd, and Aaliyah Butler, who finished 3rd.
Yep.
Like, very talented team that we're sending. This is the strongest team that we could have sent this year. But Sydney has never been in that position. We were supposed to get that in LA.
Yeah.
And then didn't happen. But now I'm excited by the fact that, like, she's going to have that chance to test herself. Now, if she runs the same sort of, like, there was only one other round before this, right?
Yeah, they didn't have.
So it's not
the
3
heats and
rounds
semis,
here,
yeah.
which, like, it's something like when we talk about, like, all these other races that have gotten, you know, 2 rounds and then,
cut down.
or got cut down. The 400 is one where, like, I don't think it should have been cut down. I think we should have gotten a 3rd round. I think the results of the teams would be a little bit different.
I completely agree.
Potentially. Sydney, I still love the fact that she's putting herself through this and open to this challenge. As the season has progressed, I don't necessarily get all that fazed by Salwa Nasser's 48.6. Because she didn't look the same at Grand Slam, aside from the first meet.
She didn't.
In Kingston.
She dropped back a little bit. I guess the thing is, at the Paris Diamond League, Paulino and Nasser both ran 48.8. So it's like the idea of they are both capable of it. And I feel like Sydney wanted this race to be a confidence booster because she knows that this is going to be a different challenge. She knows that she's going to have the toughest competition at a championships that she's ever had since 2019. So I feel like she wanted a true confidence booster to tell her like, okay, I am ready to not only challenge Nasser and Paulino, but to like get this gold medal, to potentially get that gold. So I don't know.
I put her on the podium for sure. Now I'm just debating whether it's gold, silver, bronze. Like
That's a question mark. That's a question mark. So I do like this performance though for Sydney. She's progressively gotten better through the year, right? She's run 49s. She had a disappointing race to her at Prefontaine. Now she comes here, runs 48. I think it's at least she's consistently in a good realm where, all right, I feel confident about her getting on the podium, but that gold is just going to be very, very tough.
Yeah.
Very tough. So,
all right. Let's move over to the men's 400.
Men's 400, yeah.
Which Ja'Cory Patterson won in 44.16. Chris
44.16.
Bailey second. Caleb McRae third. Now, if you look at it, like the top two guys started this whole season unsponsored. They got deals along the way.
Yeah.
Feel good story. Ja'Cory Patterson won Grand Slam track Miami, and then at that point was working for UPS.
Yeah.
Quit the job in June. It sounds like
in June. Yeah. So he got his contract in I think early June or so. Was able to quit his job, and now he's full time just training. He said though he's training like he still works at UPS.
That's like I love that mentality. And he's being coached by who?
Aliane Francique, yep, in South Carolina. And Aliane Francique is, he ran for Grenada. He's a legendary 400 runner. He used to train Fred Curley.
That's right.
Before Fred Curley moved over to
the 100
and dropped down and all that. So he has a good coach. He's in a good situation.
So Ja'Cory, with the season he's been having, looks like a medal, like a threat.
Yeah, I think a medal threat.
Yeah.
The 400 across the board is relatively wide open. Relatively. It was a very strong race last year at the Olympics, but I think there's still a lot of guys who are in the conversation, and Ja'Cory is one of them. So,
yeah. Chris Bailey, who won World Indoors and has been on a tear, 44-43 for second.
Yep.
And then Caleb McRae, who was the world leader.
He's a world leader. He ran 40.
He is a world leader, right?
He's still currently the world leader at 43.9. There was I personally had some question marks because he wasn't as consistent. He ran 43.9
at a random meet.
Random meet. And even in the heats here, he didn't look that great. He looked okay. So I was pleasantly surprised, I guess, for him to be able to finish third place here. And he ran from lane 2. Speaking of, Ja'Cory and Chris getting sponsors, like Caleb McRae is unsponsored still. So, he's running under Tracksmith, I think. So,
he was always in it. Like he was third, second, and then third. Like he was always in contention.
But I mean, Vernon Norwood, who's our guy, he just missed out. Just literally just edged out.
This was really hard.
This was really tough. Vernon Norwood, he finished at LSU in 2015 and went pro with New Balance that year. And he made his first individual team that year. So this is 10 years of him competing on the circuit as a professional. And sure, he gets to be on the relay here, but we know that Vernon wanted that spot on the team to go.
In America, no one, I feel like, makes, especially in the 400, no one makes a team a decade apart.
They're few and far between. Like
maybe on the women's side, probably like
Allison Felix, Sonia Richards-Ross. Yeah.
On the men's side,
you have like LaShawn Merritt maybe. And
okay, I take my statement back then.
I'm doing it, thinking it in my head, but like to your point though, the fact that Vernon, and it's not like Vernon is going backwards. Like we just saw him splitting 43 seconds every single round at the Olympic Games. He's been running, 44 lows this year. Like he's in good shape, and it was so tough on the edge to lose out by 0.02 of a second on that spot on the team.
But he's in the relay pool.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll safely probably. I mean, he's a veteran, so he'll go to the World Championships.
Yeah.
And they'll have him there, and he'll just continue to he'll deliver some relay medals for sure.
Of course.
You can always count on Vernon for that. But all in all, not too shocking of a result.
Not too shocking. Yeah, I think strong team regardless, and we still have the question mark on Quincy Hall, who's sitting out due to injury, could go to the Diamond League and get the wild card if that happens.
Yeah, because the only other person right now, like who's been a fixture on the Diamond League circuit, Chris Bailey has run a bunch,
Chris
and
Bailey,
he's
yeah.
high up on in those standings, but it wouldn't do anything to unlock a spot. Like that's not
No.
how the Diamond League wild card works for people.
No,
Well,
actually, if
wait.
that's a good point. If Chris Bailey went to the Diamond League final and won, Vernon Norwood would get a spot.
Oh, that is how that works.
Yeah. Because then we could send 4 because we don't have the defending champion. Because that's Antonio Watson from Jamaica. So yeah, he can actually, if Chris Bailey, if Vernon, if Ja'Cory if any of them go to the Diamond League and win, then they get Vernon would get in. But if Quincy Hall goes and wins, then Quincy Hall would get the spot.
No, we don't want that now. Like, folks, we are now officially for the next month rooting for Ja'Cory Patterson and Chris Bailey and Caleb McRae to go to the Diamond, and Vernon Norwood to get into all of the Diamond League 400s, which I think there's 2, right?
2 more left. Yep, 2 more left.
Get them into those races
Yeah.
and win it. Win one of those 3 guys ahead of Vernon wins that Diamond League final so that Mr. Vernon Norwood could be
That'd be
on the team.
That'd be legendary. Yes, we need that. We need that.
Then I think that was it, right? For the
Yeah,
sprints?
we can quickly talk about the
Women's triple jump. Like,
triple jump was kind of chalk. Jasmine Moore,
Yeah.
she was the only athlete who actually had not only the standard, but there's no athlete in the quota who's going to go from
Right.
the United States. She even said afterwards that she came in comfortable, like
her final jump was great, where she closed
yeah.
it out with the 1468,
1468.
season's best.
yeah.
The fun thing with that was like when I was sitting with someone who was listening to our show, and after the long jump, you had said like, "Oh yeah, like Jasmine Moore, like she's already on the triple jump team,"
Yeah.
and so they were like, "Did that event already happen?" And I like totally missed it. And it was like, "No, actually, Jasmine Moore just needed to show up, jump one time. All of her jumps would have won this competition.
All of them would have won.
So
Yeah.
it was just Anderson being
Yeah,
like,
sorry.
"Yeah,
She could have actually fouled and she would have gone to Tokyo because again, no one's in the quota. She's the only one with the standard. So yeah, and she has another shot to bring home a medal for the United States. She brought home 2 Olympic medals last year, and now she's only focused on the triple jump. This will be her first time only doing one event at a Worlds or Olympics ever, actually. So this will be good for Jasmine.
Pauly Throws, unfortunately not here.
Yes,
And so he won't be able to do his shot put recap. So he'll have to save it for another time. But also, like, Paul's been doing his own recaps on the Pauly Throw show. So
Yeah, definitely.
if you want that, like, subscribe and listen to the Pauly Throw show.
Yeah.
But Anderson, I guess, like, while I have you, you have one more.
I was gonna say the 400 hurdles were interesting.
Oh, yes, the 400 hurdles first
because
round,
we just had the first rounds. I want to talk about Rye Benjamin in a second, but with the women, just very quickly, that event is unfolding to be just completely smooth. Dalilah
As
Muhammad,
expected.
Anna Cockrell, Jasmine Jones, like all due respect to every athlete who's running, but the way that each of them won their heats was low-key disrespectful. Like they were so far ahead, all 3 of them individually. And Dalilah Muhammad is on her retirement tour. She's the fastest qualifier going into the final, and she's looking good.
Yeah, it's almost like they had like a little bit of a competition as to like who would win by the biggest margin. Jasmine Jones 54.36, second place 56.25. Anna Cockrell 53.97, second place 55.90. And Dalilah Muhammad first place 53.80, second place 55.93.
Kept getting faster and faster.
Yeah, so
Real smooth.
I
real
mean,
smooth.
that is very likely the team.
That's the team.
And we just have to figure out what order they're going to come in.
Exactly. That's the team. I think it'd be a shock if any of them, if either all 3 of them any of the 3 didn't make the team. I mean, I'd say maybe Dalilah has a little bit of an edge. She did say in the mix zone afterwards that she wants to retire on top. Now, obviously, Femke Bol is out there, but like the way that Dalilah has been running this season, and it seems like she's just running with a new level of motivation. I mean, who
We can
knows?
see it.
You
Yeah.
can see something. So, yeah.
All right, then in the men's side,
So men's 400 hurdles. This was also pretty smooth for the most part. I think the only person who was maybe a surprise was Trevor Bassett, but
but not a surprise if you checked Instagram
Yeah.
before the meet.
he literally like an hour
Yeah,
before the meet.
I was walking to the stadium and then I opened up Instagram and I see that Trevor Bassett like revealed that he'd torn his hamstring or like partially torn his hamstring 3 weeks ago. Got the medical clearance, or no, I think the doctor said no, and then he made enough progress to at least line up.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he was not himself. Ends up running a bad race. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was hurt. He's hurt.
not in there. Yeah.
And one of the guys fell in front of him, and he probably could have petitioned to try and get in, but not really.
Yeah,
Like, why do that? You're only gonna hurt
you'd
yourself
knock
more.
someone else out just because, and he was just like, no, it's not even worth it. But I will say, he did say he's gonna go to the Diamond Leagues. Like
If he can heal up in time.
if he can heal up in time, he said he has Diamond League scheduled. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. All right. So then, with the absence of someone like Trevor Bassett, like it does slim down the contenders, and it's going to be Rai Benjamin for sure.
Rai Benjamin, 100%
So then we have 2 spots for Caleb Dean, Chris Robinson, Aldrich Bailey, and then CJ
Allen. Yeah, and I
Khalifa
think
Rosser maybe.
Yeah, Khalifa Rosser. I think you can, behind Rai Benjamin, you can probably flip a coin on like who probably is going to be able to make the team. Caleb Dean and Chris Robinson, they did run 47.7, which, and even for Chris Robinson, that was a PB for him. I check out the interview on the CITIUS Matt YouTube channel. I asked him about, because he's now with
Yes.
he's now,
So I put Anderson up to this
I know.
thing. Chris Robinson is partaking in the Bandit Unsponsored program.
Yeah.
We saw what happened to him in Ostrava with his shorts, and like it made
Yes.
global headlines. And so Chris Robinson came through the mix zone today, and I had Anderson ask him, "Oh, you went with shorts again?" Like what went into that decision? And so like we softballed it, right? Like first you asked him about the unsponsored project.
Yeah, exactly,
This is how
exactly.
you tactfully do this.
Exactly. Yeah. Asked him about Bandit, about the race, about Bandit, and then I'm like, okay, the whole new situation. I wonder
Now,
if
was he like laughing about it a little bit?
Yeah. He laughed and he was like cool with
Was
it.
this one-on-one or like?
This is one-on-one. And you
Hell yeah.
actually asked Paul, but then Paul had to go speak with one of the shot putters. So
Of course he did.
So he was like, "Can you get him?" So, but yeah, he laughed about it, and I was like, did you check to make sure everything is good before?
I love how, you probably had a very good delivery on this. Yeah.
and he was like, "Oh man," like he laughed it out. And he said he had to like do a little dance in the room to make sure that like it's all safe.
Everything stayed intact.
Yeah.
I love how the Bandit folks, like when he picked up his uniform, they gave him the option of both. Like, they're like, buddy, like we want to make sure that doesn't ever happen to you.
I know. I mean, hey, all publicity is good publicity. Maybe should
I guess so. And he got at least like that underwear contract offer.
I know,
from it.
right?
So,
Hey,
but
he's
he's in
through.
contention.
He's in contention. I actually like him. I like his potential to make this team. He's a strong contender. Same thing with Caleb Dean. But Rai Benjamin. So Rai Benjamin had a really interesting interview in the mix zone. So first of all, he qualifies through, very comfortable. Obviously, he's going to make the team. He was speaking about how he's been dealing with a bunch of like ups and downs and injuries and little knickknacks. And I think
This season?
even this season, this season, he spoke about after the Oslo Diamond League, which I think was 300 hurdles, and that was the first kind of set of races he did overseas. He said he picked up a few little things. The Paris Diamond League, he won in Stockholm. The Paris Diamond League is where he said he picked up a few other things as well. That was a little bit closer of a race. And then that led into Prefontaine, where we saw him lose to Alison Dos Santos. So he's being very vocal about some of those setbacks that he was dealing with. And even more so, the idea of like, we've been going back to back with 4 to 5 championships since 2021. And Rai Benjamin he's medaled at every single one. And I think people don't appreciate how much he's gone through, how many setbacks he's had to deal with, and how tough it is to run 46 seconds basically every single time out. Like every single time out, he has to run 46 seconds or he finishes, or you could run 46 and finish last, or not last, but like lose the race. So he was really vocalizing how tough it is to do that and how tough it's been on his body.
One thing I love about Rai is how long his interviews are in the mix zone.
Love it. I love it.
7 minutes today. I had to look it up.
Well, so on top of like that, he was saying that like we asked him about the rounds and like, oh, would you like 3 rounds, this, that, whatever. He's like, I actually prefer less rounds. And he kind of said that he would like if the Olympic champion got a wild card to the World Championships, because it's like he now has to come to USA's to qualify. He's like, other countries, they have a discretionary pick where the top athlete is able to just go to the Worlds. He's like, why don't they just give me or anyone who's a...
Oh, you're saying this is easier for Rai to pitch it at not... I love Rai when he chooses to go on his... He's very political. Rai Benjamin for president, like he comes up with these big, grand ideas. And this is not something that necessarily needs to be a big thing implemented.
No.
As for from World Athletics, but like fair point. Like I think Rye should raise this at like the USATF annual meeting. Be like, hey, listen, like I feel like an Olympic champion from the previous year should be automatically named to the World Championship team for the next year.
Exactly. It's like he is by far the best 400-meter hurdler in the United States. Like it's not even.
And Cole Hocker will raise his hand and be like, I
yeah.
agree. I agree as well.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it makes sense. And it, again, connects with like the setbacks he's been dealing with. But even despite that, he's still able to run crazy fast, 46 seconds. So, yeah, he was kind of.
For a second today, I thought, I was like, it's nice and warm. I was like, maybe there's a chance he chooses to go for the world record today. But then, no, it didn't happen. So.
Yeah. Hey.
All right. Well, that was the sprints. All right. He made it in time. Come on over.
Here, take my spot, Paul.
What's up, Chris?
Oh man, here he is. Yeah, we have an event that we are moderating at Agate Alley. So, Paul, we did already touch on the jumps.
Okay.
So hit us,
Jasmine Moore.
Yeah, we got that.
Go.
Women's shot put. That's all you got today.
No, men's disc.
All right, go for it.
Reggie Jagers, he's back. He's dealt with a ton of injuries the last couple years. Even up until a month ago, he wasn't lifting. But then the last month, he's just been absolutely on fire. He wins his first national title since 2018, makes his first national team since 2021. He throws 66.85 in round 3, takes the win there. Also threw 66.55. And he was saying in the mix zone, like, he's not happy with his throws today. And it was the same sentiments that Sam Mattis, who threw 65.56 to finish second, made his 6th straight national team. Neither one of them were super happy with the way their throws went today.
But they both made it on the team.
They made it on the team, put together really good series, so they're happy with that, optimistic about what it's going to look like.
Third spot goes to Marcus Gustafsson.
Yeah, Marcus Gustafsson. Breakout last year, gets the world standard in Ramona, finishes, I think, 5th at trials, throwing 65. He comes in here this year, and it's round 6, the same thing his good friend Joe Brown did last year, making the team, finishing 3rd in round 6. He throws 64.51, bumps out Andrew Evans, who had a good day at 64.16, and just, 7th was 62.18, 8th was 62.15. Like, the evolution of U.S. men's discus over the last couple years has been incredible. Reggie Jagers was 2nd at the 2021 trials, throwing 62.6, and that would have been 6th today.
All right, women's shot.
Women's shot. This might have been the best throws competition of the entire meet so far. Chase Jackson, with a bum finger, goes 2084, 2056, 2021, 2050. It's the best, most consistent series of her career, and she's doing it while her hand is not 100%. She knows 21 is coming. She officially said last week that she had thrown 21-24 in practice, which is essentially the clean world record.
Ooh, Paulie with the take.
I'm quoting Chase. I can say that. I was quoting Chase. She said she called that the Natty World Record by Valerie Adams today in the mix zone. So that's a big deal. And like, it's now been a month since she threw 2095. She said she wants the conversation every time she throws. She wants it to keep being, is this the meet where she's going to break 21? Cool. She's fueling that conversation, and it's gonna happen. She also had a really good quote in the mix zone where she's like, this is a year where you could have 5 women over 20 at Worlds, and that's okay because I'm going to be over 21.
Wow, there you go. That's poetic. Quick question. If Chase Jackson breaks, the Natty world record, does she get a world record graphic on the Pauly Throws Instagram account?
Maybe a world best graphic. That's a really good question.
You're going to have to grapple with that.
Yeah.
Just start thinking about it. All right, Maggie Ewan and Jessica Ramsey, 2-3.
And Jada Ross, because Chase has the bye.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Eric. Maggie Ewan, 1994, another post-broken foot PB, which she had to have surgery on, I believe it was last February. She's looking in incredible form. Jessica Ramsey, her 70-centimeter season's best, her best throw since she won the 2021 trials, her first U.S. outdoor team since the Tokyo Olympics. Just a huge day for her. And then Jada Ross makes another U.S. team, throwing 1933. She's still in great form after a start to the season that I think a lot of people weren't necessarily expecting, but she was just saying, like, she was burnt out from her season running through August last year, which she had never had to deal with before. She wasn't in that great a shape to start the season, but she's firing on all cylinders now. And just the depth of this one, 1851 for Maya Lesnar, finished 8th. That's incredible.
And you can get so much more analysis and takes about these throws on the Pauly Throws Show.
We'll be doing a full recap tonight.
Wow. All right. Well, Paul, nice, short, sweet today.
Men's shot, women's disc tomorrow.
Hyped?
Yeah. Joe Kovacs.
Hell yeah.
I've never seen Joe throw in person. I'm so excited.
Wow. You should be there for the warm-up throws.
Okay.
Those are really good.
I will. I've heard.
All right, that does it for day 3 of the USATF Outdoor Track and Field Championships. You heard from myself, Mac Fleet, Eric Jenkins, Aisha Praught-Leer, and the one and only Pauly Throws, Anderson Emerole, and Pauly Throws.
Full squad today.
Full squad. And we're going to keep things going tomorrow. Final day, more finals, all finals. Stay up to date with all of our interviews on the CITIUS Mag YouTube channel, CITIUS Mag newsletter, blast it out every morning. We've got lots coming your way, so keep following along at CITIUS Mag and CITIUSMag.com. We will see you guys tomorrow.